Good evening. It is Monday, October 30th, approximately 6:12 p.m. This is a meeting of the Law and Ordinance Committee. I am Lynn Snee, the chair. To my left is Bobby Phillips, who is also on this committee, and again, Mr. Sievert is out of the city. We have two items tonight. The first is to provide a recommendation to council regarding a new agreement for municipal court prosecutor services by the firm of Shipman, Dixon, and Livingston, commencing in 2024 at $195,000 maximum per year, with $138,000 offset from the county. Is there any other information, Mr. Titterington?
Just that this is not an annual request for increase. The last time this increase was in 2019, so it's done every 4 years. So the 11% is a catch-up from 2019 forward, and there have been no annual cost of living adjustments since 2020. Our amount would be $16,250 per month, which reflects the municipal prosecutions inside the city. The county increased their offset, their reimbursement, to $11,500 or $138,000 annualized, which will be included in the budget for 2024.
And I just noted from our report that it said in 2022 there was over 8,800 cases that were prosecuted, so that is what this is helping with. Any questions from the committee members?
And the law director is in the audience in case you have questions.
I have a question.
What can I?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let's see if Mr. Phillips, do you have any questions, Mr. Phillips?
I do, but I don't know, Mr. Kerber, it's going to be for you, so I don't know whether you're going to be able to answer this or not.
Yes, sir.
Everything is going up.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Are there any anticipated hourly rates on your folks that you'll be contracting, or I don't know how you do this arrangement with the three individuals that are working for you, but do you see in the future any rate increases on an hourly level, or however you judge that in the next couple of years?
There certainly would be, but there wouldn't be a request for the city to take care of that. That would be as part of this, because generally this is trying to anticipate over the next 4 years with no rate increases over the next 4 years.
Got it.
I can tell you that with the advent of Marcy's Law, there's been a lot of additional work as far as reaching out to victims, mailing things to victims, phone calls, mandatory consulting with victims. So the workload has increased in that respect, but the rate increase here is really just to reflect cost of living. I mean, I think everybody's cognizant of inflation, and the bulk of the expense is labor cost, and you just try to keep up with the same level, and that's all that's being requested here.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that we're being sympathetic to the cost of doing business in the ability to do that. Not that want to throw money or unlimited pots of money, but that over the next 3 to 4 years, at least in my little pea brain, I'm not seeing anything getting any cheaper, obviously. So okay, thank you very much.
Any other members of council?
No, I just had a question about, so the 11%, does that seem pretty on par with like everybody else's, with the city? I mean, every other city employee, like their rate.
So it equates to, rough figures, 3% per year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually went back and looked at the inflation figures of the period. The last 2 years were 6%, but the years prior to that were closer to 1.5 and 2 or something along those lines. So, and actually, I don't even think that figure even matches inflation.
Okay.
Any other questions from council members?
It doesn't.
Thank you, Grant.
What is your pleasure with this?
I think that this is something that we have to do, and I'm in full agreement with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is unanimous to recommend this to council. Our second item is to provide a recommendation to council regarding appointing an assessment equalization board of Rena Gummerlock, Roberta Jacobs, and John Terwilliger, and set a meeting date of that board for November 28th at 5:30 p.m. regarding the completion of sidewalks on vacant parcels, installation of surface course of asphalt, and placement of property pins for the Oakmont Creek subdivision, Phase 5. And this is with emergency legislation. Any other information, Mr. Titterington?
Just a little background, Oakmont Creek subdivision, the council did pass a resolution of necessity. The property owner did file an objection to get it into the record, but he did also indicate that he would complete the required work in the coming 2 weeks. We are recommending that we move forward with setting the date and appointing the AEB in the event that that work doesn't get done. If and or when that work does get done prior to the AEB date, then we can cancel the meeting. There's no harm, no foul. But we do want to keep this process moving forward to make sure that that work gets done one way or the other.
So I just want to make sure I understand, an estimate of the work has been sent to the property owner, but he's said that he would do the work himself within the next 2 weeks rather than the city doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we would anticipate the city completing...
Well, we would have the AEB. The AEB would meet to determine if the allocation that we've attributed to his costs are legitimate, and then make sure that our measurements are correct. That's the only two things that they can judge. They would send a recommendation to you, then you would have to approve whatever or modify, and then we would move to the next step, and ultimately we could do the work for him.
Okay. But we could take steps, and at any point he might complete that work. And
I wouldn't say at any point. At some point, there's a make or break.
Okay.
If we committed and we've got a contractor come in and they've mobilized, things like that.
Okay.
But generally speaking, we just want him to do the work within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And there's no reason to believe that he wouldn't follow through on... Okay. Thank you.
We've had several conversations with him. We've talked to his contractor, as a matter of fact. He has got a contractor. We know that contractor very well. So we have reason to believe that it'll be done in the next 2 weeks, and that we won't need a meeting.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Very good. Any other questions from members? Anyone in the audience? All right. Your pleasure for this.
Move forward as staff is requesting.
So it's unanimous to move forward with emergency. There are no other items to come before an ordinance, so we are adjourned.